Alright, so I'm going to do a video update, and we are going to talk about the visitation list at the jail and the games that they play with people that they don't want to work with and that they don't want to get in to see these inmates. So last night my husband and I came down to the jail, and we were told, we came down to do a couple visits, and we were told that I was not on David Fry's list. David has not had any visitors in the last few weeks because we believed in solitary he could not have visits, but he was in a level 1 disciplinary group, so he should have been able to get visits, and we didn't know that. So last night my husband and I came down, and they told me I was not on his list. So I left. I've never not been on his list, but I thought, whatever, it's up to David. So left and came back today because John received a phone call from David this morning saying that we are on his list and to please come down and visit him. So John and I arrived down here to do visits, and the inmates said we are going to see David or Ammon and Ryan after break is over, but they told us that neither one of us were on David Fry's list. I pushed the issue and said, are you sure you're not missing something? Because we've always been on his list, and he actually just called John this morning explaining that, he wants us to come down and visit. So they said, nope, you're not on his list, and the list was last updated October 8th. So we were really frustrated and signed up for the other visits and went and were writing David some notes telling him that we're sorry, we're here to visit him, and we're continuously being told we're not on his list. Well, then one of the other guys comes out who we've been seeing all year, and is not awful, I would say, but is not always great with us. He comes walking over to us and he says, "You are on David's list." And I said, okay, that guy just said we're not on David's list. And he said, no, you are on it. However, when David filled out his list a couple weeks ago, he put somebody's, he didn't put somebody's birth date, not John or I, but somebody else's birth date. And when you have an error on your list, even one error, it means that the list is basically void. So I said, so you weren't going to let him see us, even though we were on his list, because he forgot to list somebody else's birth date? And he said, correct, that's the rules. But he said, I'm going to let you guys go ahead and visit David today because you are in fact on his list. That seems like no big deal, kind of frustrating that we were lied to and told that we were not on his list when that wasn't the problem. The problem is that he messed up on his list. So we walk out, and Sherry with Readout News is here. Sherry had gone in this morning and seen David. And we asked her, how did you see David when they just told us that if the list has any error, it's basically the whole list becomes void? And she said, they didn't say a word to me. I gave him my ID, I went up, and I actually had an extended visit with him. So this completely confirms for us, they did this a couple weeks ago with Ammon. John and I came to see him 2 weeks in a row, and we were told we were not on the list. And again, we have never been taken off of Ammon's list. Ammon swears up and down we were both on his list. Lisa says we were both on his list, but they would not let neither John nor I go in and see him. We are, spontaneously back on all the lists this week. But the fact that Sherry Duvall was able to go in and see David this morning and was given no crap about the fact that he had messed up on another birth date was said, nothing was said, and it's all the same employees that are there working. But then they played this total game with John and I, and we have known that they want to isolate so that they can demonize these people, and John and I are getting the message out, but Sherry is also getting the message out. So it's incredibly frustrating, you guys, that the people who carry the badge are not following the very system and the very laws that they tell us to follow. When we have issues like somebody running for president who should be in jail, her crimes being overlooked by the government, that takes it all the way to the top. And then you come down on small levels where you have police lying to supporters who are trying to get in and visit these inmates at some point you have to ask yourself, what is the authority? What does the authority even mean? The authority means that they have guns and we do not, and that they are legally allowed to carry the guns and we're not. That is their authority. Their authority is not because they follow the law or because they follow God's law. The authority comes because they truly have a gun. This is absolutely ridiculous. And I told the man today, I said, I was here last night with my husband to visit David, and the man at the desk said I wasn't on his list. And I said, thank you for telling me the truth, that it had nothing to do with my name, that my name is on the list. Thank you for letting us come in and see him today. But I said, do you understand how frustrating it is to drive an hour when you're going out on a date with your husband and you decide that you're both gonna stop in and try to encourage one of the prisoners, and you get completely jerked around by these men with badges that have no idea what it means to be honest or have integrity? And all he'd say is, I'm sorry about that, you're gonna see him today. So this quick video, we're gonna head into a meeting, but wanted to get that out there. We'll post one later after we finish all the visits for the day. Keep standing strong, keep fighting for what's right, and let the consequences fall where they may.